Alrighty, y'all. How many developer advocates does it take to evaluate a conference? It's me, Taryn Almendarez, with John Richards. Hi, John.
Hello.
So, sorry. So, how is Decoupled Days going for you?
It's going really well. I've gotten to hit up a few of the sessions, and I've been learning a lot. So, yeah, it's great.
I know we're trying to not be in the same room at the same time, so we both get a different perspective on things. What is some of the coolest? What are some of the coolest things that you've learned about?
So two things kind of come to mind that I've been seeing. So one is, maybe it's just all the sessions I've been hitting. There's been a lot of talk about design systems and how they roll into decoupled. So this idea of if you're decoupling, you probably have multiple different systems you're working with. You might have an app and you might have a website. How do you make sure there's consistency? And so this idea of design systems bringing in whole teams, which ties into what I think is the second thing I've been really hearing is it's felt like Decoupled has a tendency to be a little bit more hobbyist sometime. And we're starting to see now teams tackle these challenges of well, it's not just me running off and doing one thing. How do I approach this with the designers on my team and content people, things like that. And that gets me excited because instead of just being little one-off projects, we might start to see larger scale, enterprise projects kicking off and embracing this, which I think the future needs to see. So hopefully, everybody's talking about this, they're trying to figure out how do we as a team do this instead of me just on a one-off cobbling together a system. So that's been the thing I've been enjoying most hearing about.
That's super cool. I know that I went to a talk earlier today that talked about websites in relation to the applications that they would be feeding and how Decoupled works with that. So I agree with your assessment on that. I know another thing that's interesting is that I'm a Drupal developer in my background and John's a WordPress developer. What kinds of things have you seen from the WordPress point of view here?
There's been a lot of talk about Drupal, less so. I don't know if I'm trying to think if I heard anybody specifically give a session that was targeted at WordPress, but I've had multiple people say, hey, I'm interested in doing this in WordPress as well. And so it almost feels like there's a desire for people to do it, but maybe not as much community around that right now. So I'm hoping that as we see other events happen, or as people start to look at this from the WordPress side, more of a community of practice can start to form. Because I'm seeing a lot of people who are we're doing this, we're sharing knowledge here in the Drupal space, but people who are wanting to do WordPress maybe feel a little more on the island. And so hopefully we can learn on the WordPress side from the Drupal people and how they're sharing information to do the same thing. So yeah, hopefully there's desire. Hopefully we can get to where there's that experience building happening too.
Sounds like we got to do some open source knowledge sharing between our communities.
Yes.
All right. Well, John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.